Good afternoon, and welcome to St. Paul Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Anders Nelson, and I have the honor to serve as the associate pastor of this community of faith, a reconciling in Christ congregation. Here at St. Paul, no one is a stranger. People of all races, genders, gender expressions, sexual orientations, economic statuses, marital statuses, and ages are welcomed and affirmed. St. Paul is a place where you can find community and commonality with your siblings in Christ. Here at St. Paul, you belong. And before we get to the concert this afternoon, I want to direct your attention to some helpful locations here in the building. The restrooms are through the doors ahead of you and to the right, and down the hall and to the right as well. There are additional restrooms through the doors in the back of the church, but you'll need to navigate some stairs to reach them. Also, please note the 2 exits in the front of the space, as well as 3 exits in the back in case of emergency. And last but not least, we have a lovely retinue of ushers here with us today, here to direct you if you need help finding anything. So ushers, could you give a wave so people know where to find you? Wonderful. And now I want to share some words of introduction about the next person to welcome you here into this space, the founder of the West Suburban Flute Orchestra, David Kelsey. David is the Outreach Services Librarian at the St. Charles Public Library. David and his team serve 400 seniors residing in 12 senior facilities across the library district. David and his team have become the national leaders in providing library senior services, receiving over 10 state and national awards. David was the 2021 president of the National Association of Book Mobile and Outreach Services, where he more than doubled the organization's membership and doubled the organization's financial levels. This allowed the organization to hire their very first paid executive director, a position that David envisioned, and David spearheaded the executive director national search as he served as the organization's 2022 past president. Please join me in welcoming David Kelsey.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fall 2023 concert of the West Suburban Flute Orchestra. It is an honor for me to stand before you as the founder and the president of the board of directors of our very own West Suburban Flute Orchestra. We are officially into year number 2 of the West Suburban Flute Orchestra, and let me just say, it has been a truly magical and, quite frankly, epic year for our flute orchestra. We are officially registered as a 501c3 not-for-profit organization in the state of Illinois. We have our inaugural board of directors of the West Suburban Flute Orchestra. We have voted and approved bylaws, a bank account, PayPal account. We are working with an outstanding conductor, Dr. Mark Ponzo, hosted the National Low Flutes Retreat with international low flute specialist Dr. Christine Potter in May 2023, and we were one of the headliner ensembles for the Chicago Flute Club Festival, which was held in October 2023. That's pretty good for 1 year. So, round of applause for everybody. During this time of exceptional growth and national and international spotlight on our ensemble, we have remained committed to our founding mission and guiding principle of being a safe, welcoming, inclusive, and accepting ensemble. A family of players. You'll hear that word a lot when you're part of our orchestra, family. That's what makes our ensemble unique. It's not about the size of our group. We have over 140 on our roster, or the amount of low flutes or our contra line. It's about the family feel and having fun. That is what music should always be about, having fun with dear, caring friends. Through the entire journey of the West Suburban Flute Orchestra, it has been a team and family effort. Everyone on the stage has been essential in helping us move the West Suburban Flute Orchestra forward. In particular, I'd like to thank our founding board members and committee chairs, Please stand as I call each of your names, and as an audience, I'd like to ask just to hold your applause until the very end after everyone stands. I'll let you know. So, first one, our very own Laura Stellwagen, Vice President. Susan Gould, our Treasurer. Teresa Muir, our Secretary. And Suzanne Cahalan, one of our Directors. And now moving on to committees. Attendance Committee, Marcia Hustad and Danielle Peppa. Community Outreach, Whitney Bowden. Finance, Susan Gould. Information Technology, Chrissy Lenseski. Music Distribution, Debbie John. Music Selection, Teresa Muir. And Setup and Takedown, Catherine Boone. Now you can give an applause. If you enjoyed the concert this afternoon, please give a free will donation, which will help support the maintenance of the flute orchestra, as well as go back to the wonderful St. Paul Lutheran Church, who generously allows us to use their space for our rehearsals and performances. There are free will donations at all the entrances to the church. And also thanks to our phenomenal treasurer, Susan Gould, we are now registered on PayPal if you would like to provide an electronic donation. There is a QR code in the back page of your concert program, and our PayPal Me link handle is also listed. I know that I speak for our entire West Suburban Flute Orchestra that it's a true privilege to work with our phenomenal director, Dr. Mark Ponzo, and to grow under his musical knowledge, expertise, and guidance. Dr. Ponzo, thank you for all of your time, your hard work, and your dedication. You truly bring out the very best of our ensemble, and we cannot thank you enough for all that you do for us. All right, and without further ado, we are going to get our fall 2023 concert of the West Suburban Flute Orchestra started. Thank you all so much.
Hello? Hello, okay. I wrote some notes, then I put them in the wrong order, so I will do my best. Okay, so the first piece you heard is an original composition in 3 movements that depict the city of London. No folk tunes or early existing music was used for this piece. The second piece we're going to perform for you is one of the most famous melodies of all times, attributed to this part of the world, the British Isles. And this was credited to Percy Grainger. This arrangement features our alto flute section. So alto flutes, could you raise your wonderful instruments? Ooh. It's really a beautiful sound. And you'll hear that at the beginning. And so this features the alto flute section. So here is Londonderry Air. piece also featured Gwen, stand as I call your names, I'm not going to try your last names, Gwen, Eileen, Christina, Jody, Marcia, and Melanie. Stand up. Okay, you can sit. William Byrd, he wrote the next piece. William Byrd lived from 15... Oops. There's a stair there. Good thing I've been working out, right? Now it's really out of order. Thank you. Trying to do too many things at one time here. I'll turn this way. Woo. Okay, so William Byrd lived from 1543 to 1623, and he was one of the leading composers in the late Renaissance. And this piece was originally written in 1620 and was contained in his book, the Fitzwilliam Virginal Book. And it was written for a virginal. Now, a virginal is a small version of the harpsichord. It was a desktop version of a harpsichord. And most of Bach's music was also written for this instrument. Okay, we're going to feature Christina on the hand drum in this performance. She's doing double duty today. And in this time frame, conductors didn't exist, so they couldn't fall off the podium because they didn't have them. And when they did use directors, they stood behind, Renaissance was vocal music mostly. The director stood behind the singers and tapped on the floor with a stick. And that was called the tactus. So if they wanted to have an audible pulse, they often used hand drums. So could you raise that up so they could see it, Christina? Ta-da! So we're going to use this through the course of this piece. This is one of my favorite early pieces. This has been arranged for everything. And I think most of us probably played this early on in band, in high school, in the William Byrd Suite, which was a suite of 4 things by Gordon Jacobs for band. So this may sound familiar from that. Need to put a line there. Okay, this next piece, I think, is Rudder, right? Okay. So John Rudder, for those of you who are familiar with vocal music, is a very famous English composer, best known for a piece called Gloria that's often performed in concerts and in churches. This particular original composition for flute ensemble was written by him, again, based on folk tunes. So a lot of English composers used early existing tunes from the 1500s to write their music, and he did the same thing in this collection of movements. So in the liner notes of this next work, Stephen Watkins describes that this work is based on the compositions of Edward Elgar. You may know Edward Elgar from Pomp and Circumstance and his composition called Nimrod, which is about the character of the person. In the final movement that we're performing today, the composer says in his liner notes that this is a reflective moment on the value and effect of a 7-year occupation in India, and if this is really a triumphant return. So this has a lot of the characteristics you would hear in Pomp and Circumstance, which we've all heard a zillion times, right? So here we go. So now you're going to see some of the more unusual instruments in our ensemble. So most of you are familiar with what we call the C flute. Am I saying that correctly? C flute. And then the piccolo, the little guy here. But most of you don't know the larger instruments. So we have 4 demonstrations. So who's first? Alto, right? Okay.
This is alto flute. It's in the key of G, which is unlike all the rest of everybody else here. We play 4 notes lower, so we're a little bit lower sounding. I have a curved head joint here, but they also come in a straight one. You just have to hold it out farther. They sound a bit lower. The alto flute.
Hello, is everybody seeing? First of all, just a quick analogy with, this is a bass flute, and it's lower than the alto, and whenever I'm playing, I equate everything with food, and so, if you just imagine a decadent brownie, and you have a little icing and chocolate chips and whatever, that's the piccolo. The flutes are like a cake part, and then underneath you have 3 layers of fudge, each getting bigger and thicker and oozing. Down us, then us, and then we'll see them in a moment. And so it's just a really rich sound. And I'm going to play a little bit of early one morning. I'm just going to do the middle octave, which is the alto's lower octave, and then I'm going to do the lower octave. So. Lower. Hello everyone, this is the contralto flute. This is the lower version of the alto flute. My instrument is also in G, just like their flute. Currently, I'm the only contralto flute in the group. Here's what it sounds like. This is the contrabass. This flute brought to you by the number 4.
The things that's unusual about this ensemble is we have so many of the lower flutes. And that's what gives the ensemble so much richness. Not that, 64 C flutes wouldn't be a wonderful sound. You're probably hearing a lot more of the bass sounds the farther back that you sit. Because in this particular space, the sound goes right up, and I can't hear the basses at all where I am, which is sad. I can see the notes going by. But probably the middle of the church is about where you're going to hear the most of the basses. So you're probably hearing, so next time you come to our next concert, you in the front might want to sit a little farther back, because it is a very glorious sound. Okay, so next we're going to play a Greensleeves Fantasia. This was arranged by Anne McGinty, fantastic arranger and composer, and this takes 2 different melodies and puts them together. Now I'm doing all this from memory because I did write it down but did not rehearse it, but I've got the name of the second melody here. That's the wrong page. Oh, there it is. Okay, so one of these is Greensleeves, which you've all heard, which is from an original piece called The Ballad of Lady Greensleeves. And the second tune in the middle section is going to be called Lovely Joan. And these were both written originally in the 1570s. So a lot of the music you're hearing today is based on melodies that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. And there's just something about that tradition of melodies being passed down in simplicity that makes it really beautiful. So this is a really beautiful arrangement by Anne McGinty. Now, the second time we come back to Greensleeves, they're not playing wrong notes. It's very harmonically complex. So when she brought the melody back, it's an ABA form. The harmony is completely different, and you'll hear that as we go through the second statement of the main theme. That last arrangement was called Celtic Suite. It's original melodies, they're not based on original folk tunes. So first of all, we'd like, on behalf of the ensemble, to thank you all for coming today. It's been a pleasure to play for you in this beautiful space. We hope you've enjoyed the program we prepared for you today. David, when is the next concert? April 20th. Saturday the 20th. Write that down. Same place, same bat channel, same bat time. For those of you old enough with that reference. So those who know that reference will also know the next reference. So we were trying to figure out what would be the best way to, the music committee sits down and goes through so much time and effort to pick music. They're thinking about trying to find things in the program that everybody walks away with liking something on the program, hopefully, so that you come back on April 20th at 3 o'clock. So we had a couple things that we tried and that I didn't like, and so we got rid of those. And Teresa and David found, right, am I correct in this? David and Teresa put their heads together and found a medley of Beatles tunes. So what could be more English than the Beatles, right? So there's about 19 different melodies in here. They go by really fast, and I'll try to make sure I don't get lost in the process or fall off the podium. Because I look down here, and I don't see that there's a step. It all blends together. So I'm going to get some yellow tape and put it right there. Okay, so again, thank you on behalf of the ensemble for coming. We're having a great time playing for you. We hope you enjoy the music. Thank you for David and Teresa for putting all of this together. All the board members who do all the work. It's really a Herculean effort to put together this much music with this many people in a shorter period of time. We only had 4 rehearsals for this. So that's pretty quick to put together this much music. And in fact, most of these people on the stage have lives besides this, so trying to get everybody here at the same time and rehearsals. And so thank you all very much for playing for me. I'm really having a great time. So here we are with the Beatles medley.